President Trump is now just days into his new term, and he is moving quickly to dismantle federal diversity, equity, and inclusion jobs. In an interview, Gerald Griggs, the Georgia NAACP president, responded.
The new administration says it is winding down all federal employees and DEI roles, and White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed that in a tweet a few days ago. What do you make of that?
I make there's an attack on affirmative action. There's an attack on diversity, equity, inclusion. They're trying to roll us back to pre-1960s positions that the government has taken. Anytime that you reverse an executive order by Lyndon Baines Johnson, that shows you where your mind is. So I think that it's a misguided attack. There was progress that was being made in diversity in federal contracting, diversity and inclusion in so many areas of American life that is overseen by the federal government. So to see this swing in the opposite direction, basically as red meat, over the fights on CRT and the fights about,
CRT being critical race theory.
And the fights over whether or not which group is discriminated against the most. The purpose of DEI is to level the playing field. And I think that this president and his administration have used this as a wedge issue to divide voters, to divide American citizens. Diversity is a strength, and we at the NAACP are saying that we have to have diversity no matter what. And any administration or any company, for that matter, that pulls back on diversity can expect to hear from us.
I know that a lot of people watching will hear your answer and I know right now they're nodding their heads and they agree very much. I also know that some people are hearing what you said, and they might be thinking about something President Trump said in his inaugural address, and I'm quoting here. He said, "We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based." And I know there are a lot of people who heard that and were happy to hear that from the chief executive. To people who were glad to hear that, maybe welcoming a sign that DEI was going to be deprioritized in the federal government, what do you say to those folks?
I say to those folks, I understand what you believe DEI to be. I understand what you have been told a woke agenda is, but I would strongly urge you to Google the word woke. It means to be aware of social injustices that have impacted this country since its inception. And the purpose of DEI is to push back on those social injustices. So many of us the past week were celebrating Dr. King. I promise you that Dr. King would have been in favor of DEI because it was called affirmative action. It was actually introduced in executive orders by Lyndon Baines Johnson when we were dealing with the civil rights era. So if you are happy to hear we're going to roll that back, you would have been happy to hear a speech by Woodrow Wilson who made sure that the Army was no longer, he segregated the Army through an executive order. And so I think that, as the president of the NAACP, I'm concerned when individuals are not students of history and see where this is going. We're not trying to take anybody's jobs away. We're not trying to say it should not be a meritocracy. But what we are saying is discrimination is alive. It's very well. And these methods and attacks are going to increase the discrimination. That's going to increase the lack of diversity. That's going to increase the need for the programs that are being gutted.
Quickly, one point of clarification. President Woodrow Wilson does not appear to have signed a specific order segregating the United States Army, but his administration is widely known for advancing policies that broadly increase discrimination across the federal government.